You wake up handcuffed to your spouse who blows his brains out and sends armed men to come and kill you. Could you outsmart the intruders and survive? Well, you're wrong, and in this video, I'm going to go through the movie till death, analyze the decisions made, and show you that even if you made different choices, you would still end up dead. After a weird exchange in Emma's husband, Mark's office, Emma gets to have an awkward elevator ride with Mark and a man named Tom who she is cheating with. It's time for an even more awkward dinner where they exchange gifts. She gives him Super Bowl tickets that he ends up leaving as a tip for the waiter, and he gives her a strange necklace. After dinner, Mark asks her to put on a blindfold and get in his car. I don't know about you, but if I'm in a marriage that we both clearly want out of, there's no way in hell I'm doing that. But she agrees and gets in the car. After an hour-long blindfolded car ride, they arrive at a house in the middle of nowhere, a perfect place for a murder-suicide. They go inside and there are rose petals everywhere, so it looks like he's trying to rekindle some romance. The next morning, she wakes up and is handcuffed to Mark. Naturally, she's like, what the hell is going on? He then gives her a cold stare and proceeds to blow his brains out all over her. She sits in shock for a while, which is pretty reasonable, but unfortunately for her, time is not on her side. Of course, she doesn't know this yet. After she comes to her senses, she grabs the landline and tries to call for help, but sadly, the phone is not working. Then she tries to shoot the handcuffs off, but discovers that the only bullet that was in the gun Mark used to give himself a makeover. So she is forced to drag his lifeless corpse around the house, and then she has a pretty nasty fall down the stairs. Now, I'm not saying that she 100% would have died right here, but it's definitely possible, and she certainly would have not walked away with no injury whatsoever. I think a broken bone or two is likely, and probably a concussion as well. So having injuries like this and dragging around the old ball and chain, it would severely decrease the likelihood that she would make it out of this mess alive. After her tumble down the stairs, she discovers that the door had been left open probably most of the night. So not only does she have to deal with dragging around her dead husband, but also potentially freezing to death. She also looks for her phone, only to discover that Mark threw it in a vase of water, so there's no calling for help. She then begins to frantically search the kitchen cabinets, looking for something to cut herself free with, but unfortunately for her, Mark got rid of everything in the kitchen. Luckily, though, she does find the car keys in the trash can. She then has to drag his dead body through the freezing cold snow and into the car just to discover that Mark siphoned out all of the gas. The only thing that would have been better is if he left just enough gas in the car to get down the driveway so that she would have had to drag his body back to the house. Next, she drags him into the basement, but of course all the tools are gone. It was a waste of time and energy going down there, but I mean, she had to check, right? Tom shows up, having received some messages from Mark posing as Emma. They wasted a lot of time talking about what had happened, and Tom wants to get their story straight. After some convincing, he starts to call the police, but realizes he left his phone in the car. As he's going outside to get it, they see a truck pulling up. Tom thinks he can get them to leave, so he goes out to confront them. He tries to pay them so that they leave, but it doesn't work, and well...
Get back in your car.
Once they're inside, Bobby starts walking straight towards Emma, but for some reason turns around right before he rounds the corner and finds her, even though there is a trail of blood leading right to her. This is the point where she absolutely would have been killed. There's not a chance in hell they don't find her. Also, keep in mind that she's still cuffed to her husband's corpse, so she can't just run away. Jimmy goes outside to find a trail of blood leading to the boathouse. While Jimmy is walking to the boathouse, Emma is smashing Mark's hand with a boat anchor, which he definitely would have heard. She hears him breaking the doors open and quickly hides under a tarp. Jimmy sees Mark's body, freaks out, and runs to find his brother. They both come back, and we see that Emma has cut herself free. They're arguing about leaving while Emma is hiding under the dock they're standing on. It's just pure plot armor that they don't find her here. Also, being murdered by these two is not the only thing that she has to worry about. She also has to worry about getting hypothermia and freezing to death. Considering the fact that the front door to the house was left open all night and the heat was also most likely turned off and now having to lay down on the ice, I would say that she would get hypothermia very soon if she didn't have it already. Point is, there's no shot of her getting out of here alive. Next, she is dragging the gas from the boat over to the car when Jimmy comes outside to get Mark's body so that they can open the safe. She just drops down into the snow to hide from him, but you can clearly see her blood-stained shirt in the white snow. This is another point where they should have found her, but her plot armor blinded Jimmy for a minute. Also, this doesn't exactly improve her odds of not freezing to death. She begins putting gas in the car when Bobby comes into the garage. She does manage to hide from him, but he stabs one of the tires. Not that this would stop anyone from driving out of here in this situation. The next time they almost find her is in the basement. She's trapped between the two of them, but she hits the car alarm before they find her. That was some pretty quick thinking, so props for that. She strips her dead boyfriend of his shoes and jacket, so at least now she's a bit warmer, but that doesn't increase her odds of survival too much. Bobby goes into the attic looking for her, and she pops out of her hiding spot and cracks him in the head with a golf club, and he falls through the ceiling. She then waits for Jimmy to come check on him and knocks him into the room and breaks the doorknob, locking him in. Her mistake here is not continuing to cave in Bobby's skull while he's knocked out. She should have just hit him repeatedly until there was a pile of jam where his head used to be. Jimmy would probably just freak out, leave, and then that would be the end of it. But instead, she just runs out of the house to get in Tom's car, and as she's calling the police, Bobby shows up, yanks her out of the car, and knocks her out. This would pretty much be game over. The only reason they don't kill her yet is because they need the combination to the safe. Bobby starts to torture her when Jimmy suddenly grows a pair and tries to physically stop him. Yeah, right, this ain't gonna happen. He would just sit in the corner and cry while Bobby cuts parts off of her until she gave up the combination or she died. Jimmy gets thrown to the floor and sees the gun Mark shot himself with, grabs it, and points it at Bobby. They agree to leave her alive if she gives them the combination. They open the safe only to find an engraved handsaw that says, "The diamonds you seek lay close to her heart." They figure out the diamonds are in the necklace and they need to cut her head off to get to them. The brothers start fighting and Bobby ends up impaling Jimmy on a hook on the wall. Then Bobby and Emma start fighting. Emma does have his knife, so at least she has a weapon, but realistically, even with the knife, I don't see this going her way. He is just too much stronger than her. Also, remember she had to lug her husband's dead body around all day, so along with being nearly frozen to death, she would be extremely exhausted. So the most likely outcome would be him cutting her head off and getting out of there with the diamond-filled necklace. But I don't think he would have gotten away with it though. After the police show up and find his brother's body, I'm sure that they would put the pieces together and he would be back in prison. So that's a silver lining, I guess. But anyway, she smacks him over the head with some bolt cutters and handcuffed Bobby to her husband. She makes it out to Mark's car, but Bobby is close behind. She tries to back out, but Tom and Bobby's cars are blocking the driveway, so she hits Bobby and crashes into the boathouse. He chases her out onto the frozen lake. During the struggle, he stabs the ice, and then as he's choking her, she grabs the knife and stabs him. He falls over, the ice breaks, and as he's getting dragged under, he grabs her necklace and takes her with him. As they are going down, she stabs him in the eye, swims to the surface, and breaks through the ice, surviving the worst day of her life. This is not how it would play out. Once he caught up to her, he would just stab her, and then that would be it. But if they both get dragged under, Bobby is definitely dead, being chained to a body he ain't swimming up. And since he's holding on to her, neither is she. They would both drown together, but even if she did manage to break out of the ice and get out, she definitely would have froze to death. I think no matter how you look at it, she's pretty much dead. Anyways, tell me what you guys think. If you were put in her shoes, would you have made it out alive? Let me know down below. Also, please hit that subscribe button, and leaving a like also helps a lot. And remember, if you get tired of your spouse, just hire a crazy ex-con to get rid of them for you.